reaction to what this means, we turn now to Independent Women's Voice senior fellow Lisa Booth. Lisa, great to see you.
So great to be in studio.
Oh, I'm so happy.
You didn't find that inspiring? I mean, it just screams excitement and enthusiasm.
I know, it's pathetic. You got to wonder on some level. I mean, like, it all kind of makes sense at dinner with all your buddies, and they're like, "Oh, Michael, you're so impressive. You're so rich. You should run." And then you get out there, and it's like, it's not going to work.
Well, it probably isn't, but he's got a ton of money to spend, and this is the challenge, and I think this is the fear of some of the candidates that are in the race so far. I mean, look, for 1 week alone, he's spending over $30 million, breaking presidential history for the amount of money he's spending on TV ads. That beats what President Obama spent in 2012 in the final week of the campaign, which was $25 million. Right. And just to put that, just that sheer amount of money into context, so that is more than half. So what he's spending is more than half of the $50 million that the entire field of 2020 candidates have spent this year combined, is what he's spending in 1 week.
You know,
alone.
I mean, not to be old or anything, but I was there when Steve Forbes did something like this in 1996. What a nice man he is, actually. But it got him nothing. You know what I mean? Like, is there any example that we can think of where a guy just comes in who has no real base of support but buys the nomination?
No, I mean, look, this is clearly an unprecedented campaign strategy. He's skipping the first 4 early states. He's focusing on essentially the Super Tuesday states, looking at states like California and Texas. So his strategy is essentially the hope that no candidate really emerges from those early primary states, and then he can come in to those, Super Tuesday states and try to capitalize off that. But clearly, this has not been met kindly by some of the other Democrats in the candidates or the campaign. They're accusing him of trying to buy the election. Listen to what they've had to say.
Mayor Bloomberg, who has decided to use part of his $55 billion not to buy a yacht, not to buy another home, not to buy a fancy car, but to buy the United States government.
Michael Bloomberg is making a bet about democracy in 2020. He doesn't need people. He only needs bags and bags of money.
So if you didn't know, Michael Bloomberg's really rich. So you didn't get from that.
I hate to agree with him, but I kind of do. Whatever happened to, remember that thing, campaign finance reform they used to talk about all the time?
Well, and the irony, too, so did you know this? If you were a presidential candidate, you're going to be able to purchase television ads for less than a super PAC would. So, for instance, him coming in as a presidential candidate, he's going to get more bang for his buck with the campaign ads he's putting up. So I think for him, he's looking at it from saying, what do I lose, right? I'm worth $50-something billion. I've got all the money in the world. Spending a couple $100 million is a drop in the bucket. So what he gets to do is throw a Hail Mary campaign. Maybe I win. I probably won't, but who cares? And what he also gets to do is put all this money in to try to damage President Trump in the process. So for him, I mean, it's not really that big of a loss. Like, what is a couple $100 million to him?
I guess that's
I would love to have that, but
I don't believe that you can, at this stage, hurt Trump by criticizing Trump.
Well, I think what we saw in 2016 is money doesn't mean everything, right?
No,
Hillary Clinton spent more than double what Donald Trump did. It didn't matter, right? He was able to get enthusiasm.
Yes.
She was not. So money can't buy enthusiasm. And based off of Bloomberg's first, his inaugural speech, I don't really know. I don't see him exciting anyone.
It bought him 3 terms as mayor, but, it's a weird city, as you know. Lisa Booth, great to see you today.
Thanks, Tucker.
Thank you.